This is The Critical Path, a talk show contemplating the causality of success and failure in the evolving story of mobile computing and related industries. Using Apple as a lens to look at existing and emerging tech markets, we try to understand what it means to be great. The host of the show is Horace and Anders, founder of asimco.com, and I'm his co-host, Anders Brownworth. Band for this episode is sponsored by Cashfly. Our other sponsors are Smile and Linda. Horace, how are things?
Hey, Anders, great. I had a pretty impressively a lengthy set of trips they were contiguous, ran into each other, and
I'm not surprised.
I ended up almost hitting my 100,000 mile for the year
Yeah,
target on
yeah.
flying. I don't know if that's
A good or a bad
something
thing.
to be proud
Yeah.
of. And so I ended up presenting in front of lots of people. I was at Slush, which is in Finland.
Yeah.
This is a big event for the Nordic startup community and the investment community there. It's becoming more and more a global event, and there's over 150 countries now. I was in San Francisco before then and after then. So I flew California, Europe, back to California with 1 or 2 days in between in Boston, and now I'm back here in the East Coast. There was one thing that I wanted to sort of rewind on, and that I mean
Mm.
I could spend a long time giving you feedback on all of this, but the one thing that actually popped up recently, because we're recording now on November 19th. It's a Thursday, our usual slot, Thursday record. And on Monday, I was in, like I said, in San Francisco. I was in front of UBS. This UBS was having a conference in San Francisco, Technology Investment Conference, and it was great. I was on the panel with Adam Oshinsky, Mark Gurman, and it was moderated by Steven Milusevic,
Mm.
who is one of the UBS analysts following Apple. So we had Lashinsky, who was, of course, author of
Yeah.
Inside Apple, Gurman, who's been on 95 Mac, getting a lot of scoops on Apple's, various Apple events. And it was a great discussion. I don't know if I can relay much of it, but everybody who's listened to me over the few years now would have heard me already say these things. But the interesting thing is that and the main thing I wanted to point out during the talk was that I emphasized, this being an investment conference, I emphasized the notion that the way I felt about Apple was that it was a recurring revenue model. And that the way to think about it as a business is that it's not so much about trying to get home run after home run, although that does seem to happen. It's more that they want to keep a large number of people satisfied. And if they do that, then those people will come back and buy whatever is on offer. Hopefully, whatever is on offer is actually attractive and innovative and valuable. But the main thing isn't to have a hit product, which is, I think, the way the company is valued as a hit-driven business, but rather that it's a loyalty and a brand business. And I've been saying this for a long time. I wrote a piece months ago called Apple Assurance that quantified this idea of what does loyalty mean, that you can actually price loyalty by assuming certain factors of recurring revenue, longevity of product on the shelf, or I should say in use.
Hmm.
And all of these things can be quantified. And I set it as a challenge to the investors in front of me, of which there may have been over 100. And I said, you can do this too. You can measure Apple's value by taking a number of users, assuming that's a fairly stable number, multiplying it but by a number of devices that they buy, and multiply that by the pricing of the device and its longevity to get a model which shows you what Apple's worth. Financial people do this in their sleep. It's a very simple thing to do. It's much simpler than trying to figure out what they're going to sell iPhone next quarter or the one after that, and trying to sort of imagine what the company's worth based on that. That's the trick. That's the tricky part. Is of course, if you're going to measure Apple as an iPhone company, then you're going to say, well, this is how many they shipped, and this is what they might ship next year, and that's about all I can see, all I can foresee, and therefore it becomes a pretty silly exercise in when you think about it, to price the company on the number of iPhones it sells. So that's not what they're trying to accomplish. They're trying to
Mhm.
accomplish the creation of a great brand, and they have been for 30 plus years. So this isn't either a new idea, nor is it a hard idea, and um, and yet it's one that hasn't been accepted by investors, by analysts, until the day after I spoke in San Francisco.
Okay.
And this was when Goldman Sachs issued a note
Yeah.
saying to do exactly what I offered to do, or I suggested that they do. Now, I don't know if it's coincidence, um, unless Goldman themselves make any public comment on this, but it happened the day after, and as a result, um, the share price rose quite a bit, actually, and it rose 2 days in a row. So this was yesterday, Wednesday, and
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 today.
Thursday today.
Yeah.
So what I also said, and just to summarize my thesis, is that the stock price will rise, or I should say, the PE ratio on the stock will rise from its abysmal,
13.
pathetic,
Yeah.
almost like throwaway value it has today, to something more as a normal company might be valued
Hmm.
once realization comes on that this is a recurring revenue model. And in fact, the illustration I've illustrated this with a set of charts which show revenue and profits for Google, Microsoft, Apple, Samsung, and Amazon. I call them the usual suspects graph, and it's a beautifully detailed graph of history of all those companies in terms of top and bottom line. And the amazing thing is that very the day after, like I said, this seems to have caught on, and I'm pretty excited that the logic is starting to finally be out there, being put forward by very top flight analysts, and some people are catching on. So that's good news.
Hmm.
I've been saying it for many years. Actually, the idea came to me partly because Jean-Louis Gasset asked this question: could you? He challenged me. He said, "Could you value Apple as a recurring revenue model? Just go away and do that." And that challenge, I accepted, and I probably was over 3 years ago.
Mm.
And that's when I first published my first analysis of Apple as a recurring revenue model. And I was, or sometimes an annuity, calculating what each product is worth. And that's when I first came up with the rule of thumb that Apple products are $1 a day.
Hmm.
And I've been more precise since I've been able to get that more close. The iPhone is still $1 a day. The other products like Apple TV is obviously a lot less because it relies on purchases of content, although that might rise again if and when we get to subscription pricing for Apple TV. But a lot of the products, and that's been reinforced with the upgrade plan for the iPhone. Uh,
Yeah. Absolutely.
it's always been true of the Mac,
Yeah.
and the iPod. So now we have to also evaluate the watch because we don't have a lot of information on how that's going to be upgraded, how long people will hold on to it, and so on. By the way, speaking of which, All of these questions about the watch, of which there are many, will be discussed at an event which I am co-hosting on December 10th. It's called Glance, a deep look at the Apple Watch. And this event is going to be in San Francisco. It's downtown. It's in a great location. We're organizing it with Risley and with Creative Strategies, or Ben Baharin, and Bernard Desarnot, to and reminding me also, now that I think about it, and Jean-Louis Gasset will be a special guest, will be interviewed one-on-one by Tim Baharin, both of them having been in technology for longer than we can remember. And so great show. We're really going to dive deeply into the watch, and I think the watch is one of these things. In my bones, I feel will be one of the most significant products ever made, and we're gonna I'm almost delighted that it's flying under the radar so effectively right now.
Mm.
But we shall shed some light on that on the 10th of December, very soon, actually. So please make sure you get your seat there and join us, and we'll have a lot of fun. So anyway, so that was my I did, if I were to pick one thing from the last few weeks of travels, I fondly remember that one, with meeting with investors and talking about my theory of how to value Apple, and then it sort of suddenly becoming a commonly discussed thing. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up. The rest of the time I wanted to spend today on is Apple's new iPad Pro.
Hmm.
I've done two, yes, not I never do product reviews, but I did two product reviews on the iPad Pro. One on the iPad Pro itself, positioning and strategy, and the other on the Pencil. And I want to talk a little bit behind the scenes of those two reviews as I did them, and give some insight as well, sort of what went into the thinking. And before that, though, I think we should thank one of our sponsors. What do you think?
Let's do it.
So let me just thank Smile, and the reason is I'm very fond of them because they have been sponsoring me before, and also through Asimco, and I want to just give a shout out to them. Smile is the company that makes PDF Pen. PDF Pen is the ultimate all-purpose PDF editor, and Smile offers 10 amazing tutorials from the talented David Sparks, aka Max Sparky. In just 2 to 4 minutes each, learn how to use PDF Pen to annotate a PDF, add a signature to a PDF, fill in PDF forms, touch up images in PDFs, perform OCR to convert scanned documents to usable text, correct and redact text, use iCloud and Dropbox to sync PDFs with PDF Pen for iPad and iPhone. There's also videos covering what's new, what's more to explore, and what's specific to PDF Pen Pro. Watch the videos and get PDF Pen today. David Sparks, which is again at Mac Sparky, one word, has done a series of great 2 to 4 minute videos outlining a variety of common tasks with PDF Pen 7 and PDF Pen Pro 7, including how to, again, annotate, sign, fill in PDF forms, touch up images, perform OCR, and so on. So the place to get this is smilesoftware.com/critical path. PDF Pen 7 and PDF Pen Pro 7 require Yosemite, which is OS 10, 10.10, and are already ready for El Capitan, OS 10, which is 10.11. Again, to learn more about PDF Pen 7, visit smilesoftware.com/critical path. So thank you to Smile Software for supporting 5x5 and the critical path. Yeah, sorry, folks. We had a little interruption here because I had a visitor, and had to attend to them. And this is actually a visitor that's been hanging around for a while. We first met yesterday. It's a flying squirrel. I nicknamed it or her or I don't know what, um, Rocky. Um, some of you who may be old enough remember Rocky and
Oh yeah.
Bullwinkle. So Rocky and I became acquainted yesterday, and I emerged from the encounter with two fairly major injuries.
Major? Wow.
Well, scratches, let's say,
Yeah.
but they were bleeding, and I still have the band-aids on there now. That was yesterday when I we met, and I was trying to corner it.
Oh,
I,
well,
I
you're trying to corner it?
well, here's the thing: as this may be a repeat visit because
Yeah.
last year I also had a visitor who I also nicknamed Rocky, but I don't know if they're the same. This one
Yeah.
looks a bit more robust.
That
But
happens, they get bigger.
yeah, so I think this time of year they're
Mm.
looking for shelter. So
Yeah.
somehow I managed to get into my house,
Nice.
and so I ended up last year I ended up finding it in my bed.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, I managed to take a photo of it, and I might actually post it at some point.
You have to.
This was last year's Rocky.
Yeah.
This year's Rocky is a little bit more feisty.
Yeah.
So I found it in my kitchen,
Yeah.
and I had it was racing between one point of the kitchen, so one corner of the kitchen behind the trash, uh, my trash barrel,
Yeah.
and another point of the kitchen or dining area, which is behind a bookcase. And I began to, so it was finally firmly hidden behind the bookcase, and I decided to take apart the bookcase so that I could try to trap it. Last year the way it had worked is that when he was in the bedroom, I managed to fairly easily trap him and put him in a box and took him outside.
Yeah.
The trapping technique is an inverted trash can
Nice. Yeah.
that you just put it on top of it, and then you slide a piece of cardboard, or in my case, I think it was a FedEx envelope
Yeah.
that, scoops up the bottom up, and I took him outside, and that was Rocky number one. Today, or yesterday's Rocky, was a bit more aggressive. So it went behind this bookshelf, and I'm taking it apart in order to try to flush it out, or not flush it out, but because I just wanted to have them cornered in a way so I could address the corner so I could get that trash can on there again. But in fact, the little guy, as soon as I exposed his hiding spot,
Yeah.
ran away back towards the other side. So back and forth we went between the trash can and the thing, back and forth. And when they're cornered, they can get
Yeah.
pretty animated, and they're flying squirrels, and
How,
and so
how do you know it's a flying squirrel?
oh, you
Did
can
it,
tell because they've got the membrane between the front and rear legs.
okay, so it didn't fly at you or something
No,
like
no,
that.
but it was
Okay.
try to jump up in one
Yeah.
more than once, and it was like
Yeah.
it has an instinct to jump. So it's running back and forth, and I just said I can't find a way to corner them in a way that I can properly get the trash can on him. And eventually, what he did is he went in between. I didn't even know I had this little spot, but there's a little crack between the joint between the cabinets in the
Hmm.
kitchen, and so he snuck right in this tiny little hole, and I just at that point I thought that's how he had come in,
Hmm.
and I was somewhat relieved, and I decided that the way to protect that entry is just I would sort of cover up that entry point. And
Yeah.
I took some newspaper and other things I could like squish and bung up in there. And so I'm trying to bung him up with a with the handle of a mallet. No, not a
This says disaster. A handle of a melon?
no.
Come on.
It was one of those tenderizing
Oh,
hammers.
even worse. Okay, great.
It's a kitchen. It's
Yeah.
the only thing I could find. I was
You have a meat cleaver, basically.
no, 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 no.
Okay, you
It
got
was
it.
a mallet. It
All
was
right.
just like a blunt instrument
Okay.
with a handle, and the handle is the only thing I could grab that I could try to like squeeze. So as I'm trying to force this plug onto the hole that I thought he would be coming out of,
Yeah.
I ended up breaking part of the trim work underneath the cabinetry there,
Yeah.
and my hand with the mallet, with the tenderizing hammer, whatever it's called, went far enough that it scraped my thumb up against the underside
Ah,
of the cabinet,
not
which
good.
caused it to skinned my thumb
Yeah.
in two places. So here I am bleeding and broken cabinet, and as far as I know, the squirrel's gone because the plug is somewhat there, but not really. It was not a very effective plug, to be honest. So I walked away from it
Yeah.
and went to sleep. And then around 3 a.m., a
Of
lot of
course.
noise starts coming,
Yeah.
from downstairs.
Yeah.
And I go down, and I had, yes, I know this sounds a bit weird, but I have another bookshelf in the living room with video cassettes.
Yeah.
Don't ask why, just kind of nostalgia maybe.
Got it.
I had these video cassettes, and it had knocked over video cassettes out of my bookcase.
Oh, wow.
And also, there was a hand vac. The hand vac had been perched. The hand vac had been removed from my bookshelf
Yeah.
as part of my dismantling, and this hand vac had been put on the windowsill, and it had knocked over the hand vac off the windowsill. This thing was running amok. It was dismantling my house,
Yeah.
and so I was it was like 3 in the morning, and I'm like really frustrated
Yeah.
about this, and they're nocturnal, as it turns out.
Yeah.
And so this was its active period. And I don't know, it's probably looking for food or a video cassette to watch or do some vacuuming. I don't know. But it's just going all around my house and making a lot of noise. And I'm like, at this point, I just didn't want it to come into my bed because, you know,
Yeah.
it would scare me, right? So I shut the door to the bedroom. I
Yeah.
put like, they're pretty small, and I was afraid it might even come under the door. So I had to like put a towel under the door, and I'm like trying to also close all the other possible doors, let it run amok in the living room because I'm not about to try to catch it at 3 a.m.
No, but like what about open the front door?
Yeah, but it's cold and it's 3 a.m. and I
All right,
you
that's
know,
fair. That's fair.
it's not even sure that it would
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
There might be a thought, maybe open a window or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
And so, and it's below freezing though.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's cold up here in New England. So I forget about it. Although I didn't get to sleep again, so I had a terrible night. I slept for very few hours, and then during the day I'm exhausted all day because of because of the
Because of
squirrel.
Rocky.
And I come home and I'm looking around. As soon as I came home after around 4 or 5 o'clock, I actually came home early to try to take a little nap before we do the recording today. And I'm like looking and I can't see anything. And I say, okay, Rocky's gone. He's finally left wherever he came, however he came in. And there's no sign of any disturbance.
Hmm.
And then during the show, like we started at 7, suddenly I hear noises downstairs again. So
Yeah.
we had to reboot the computer for some reason. And then I go downstairs, and again, I'm looking, I'm looking, I'm looking, I'm looking. And turns out Rocky showed himself. He showed himself on top of the cabinetry now.
Great.
It climbed all the way up on top,
Yeah.
and it's looking at me with these two big black eyes. They have these black eyes. They look pretty fierce. I mean, if you look at them from a certain angle, you might mistake them for a rat. I
Yeah.
mean,
Sure.
they're pretty can be pretty
Little
scary.
flying rat.
A
Yeah.
flying rat. Now, he's got height advantage on me at this
Yeah.
point,
That's
right?
why he's up there.
So I'm a little bit nervous now. I've got my Swiffer. You know what a Swiffer is?
Yeah.
It's my tool of choice
Yeah.
now.
Good.
It's one of these things that's a broom, but it's actually, got a napkin on the end of it.
Yeah.
So
Longer handle. It's
it's
very
got, but
cute.
I've got the handle,
Yeah.
so I've got a little bit of reach because at this point I decided to try to trap him again. But I needed
Yeah.
to have him come down. So he's up there, and I knew he was looking at me over the edge. I knew because they're flying squirrels that thing could jump
Yeah.
and just go right
Just
at
hit your head. Yeah. Yeah. Just
and
claw
then
you up.
go
Yeah.
for the eyes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
throat or something.
Absolutely.
So I'm like I'm got the Swiffer there, and I'm poking at it, not poking
I'm
yet.
poking
I
at it.
decided
Yeah.
I decided to elevate my height so that it would be more eye level with it because he could have gone behind some boxes in the top of the cabinet. And so I finally I get a chair,
Yeah.
the dining room chair,
It
and I'm
says,
standing on the chair with the Swiffer, trying to coerce it down from the top so I can get him down low so I can trap him again.
Yeah.
And as I do this, it jumps right at
Yeah,
me.
of course. You know that was going to happen.
And I jumped in my on this chair. I don't know how it happened, but literally I jumped while standing on the chair and broke the chair. The whole chair disassembled itself under my feet, and I fell backwards, and I ended up I felt really hard.
I'm sorry I'm laughing.
My back is a little bit messed up right
It's
now as
not
I speak
good.
to you.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, pieces of the chair literally fragmented and flew in all directions.
Yeah. Yeah. This just
Uh,
happened just
it
now.
just happened,
Yeah.
and I'm still in pain. And in the
Sorry.
meantime, the squirrel and I were like, in a melee as this is as as chair pieces are flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Should
Nice.
post a photo of my chair.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not lying.
So
And
what?
then here's the thing, and then it runs back in its little hiding
Yeah,
place
of course.
where it came from, and was spending the whole night last night. Presumably, this is its safe
Yeah.
place because I
Yeah.
can't get to it, and I'm not about to dismantle the whole kitchen yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so then I decided that what I should have done in the first place, which is now my current solution. Stay tuned next week for more. But right now, what I did is I took a bunch of little boxes and things, and instead of bunging up the little hole, I covered it up with boxes
Yeah.
that hopefully will keep it from coming back out. Now, now I know this is a temporary solution
Yeah.
because if it has another exit point, that's one problem. It's going to wake me up again tonight,
Yeah.
or start scratching or good. The one thing that you should know about flying squirrels is they're pretty quiet, which is at least I have not heard them say anything. Both episodes last year and this year, they make noise by running, or you
Yeah.
hear their claws on the hardwood floor or something, or knocking things over. But I've never heard them say any little squeak at all, which is um, which is good because imagine how scary that would be, fighting with a flying rodent that screams at you.
Yeah. That
Uh,
does not sound pleasant. You know, those
but
things bite too. I mean,
do they?
well,
Oh, well,
yeah. I
thanks for
mean,
telling me that now.
well, you must know. Didn't you have
I never got
like a
close to
gerbil or
one.
something? Like some rodents bite. I mean, you have to
Well,
watch
that's
out for
true.
that.
That is what they're known for.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it, but now, but they're
You're
fairly
sleeping
cute
outside tonight, I
actually. I
think.
think that they're fairly nice little animals, and I think the fact that they're able to fly and yet they're mammals is fascinating. I mean, and it's a great invention. This creatures
Not a 3 in the morning, but yeah. I mean, in general,
generally, I mean,
I would open a window or
bats are
something.
similar, right? I suppose in a way.
Yeah, little flying rodents. Yeah.
But this one actually glides, and so I hope my back is not going to be permanently injured.
I'm
That was a
sorry.
spectacular fall. I got
Yeah.
to say, really, when I
Yeah.
fell, I
Hmm.
felt that's it. I've broken myself somehow.
You're still
Round
alive.
two goes to the squirrel again.
Yeah.
But now that it's trapped, so I have to think of plan C,
Yeah.
which might be that I still need to get a hold of it, and coax it out of there without dismantling my kitchen. And I don't want it to die there, and then
No, that'd be
that
worse.
would be
So
the worst thing because then
yeah.
it'll be I'll still have to dismantle my kitchen to get it out, and then probably it'll smell and
Yeah,
be
it's you don't
hygienic in
want
the
that.
kitchen.
My father-in-law had a problem with a squirrel outside that was taunting him. He got one of these live traps. You know, the thing
Yeah, yeah,
goes
yeah.
in
I'm
and
gonna
hits
get
something.
one of
That's
those.
what you need.
I'm gonna get one of those.
Yeah, that's
Now
what you
let's
need.
see. I just heard some noises
Oh,
again.
great. Well, this is going to be a fantastic episode. I'm looking
Oh
forward to
man,
it.
I just hope my back isn't broken.
I do too. Sorry for laughing, but it was a funny story.
My chair is bad. I just destroyed my chair.
You got to,
I've had this chair for like 20 years.
not
It's
anymore.
part of a set. There's four of
Oh,
them now, and then now there's only three. It's
yeah,
unfixable too because it's completely broken.
yeah. Oh well. Well,
Um,
you got to post a picture now. I mean, that's got to
yeah,
happen.
I'll have to do that,
And
and
especially if you can get one of Rocky or
yeah, I
a
should get a one
video.
of Rocky
Yeah.
whenever I get because I have to keep an eye on him. So I wanted to get my phone to take a photo, but whenever, you got to keep the eye on him
Oh
because
yeah,
otherwise he just
he's
disappears. They're
gone.
hard to see anyway.
Yeah,
And
that's what GoPros are good for. Little GoPro, kind of put it on a stick, get it right up to him. That's what you need to do.
yeah.
All
So
right,
I have to see now where what's going to happen. He might just scratch all night long.
he probably will.
I don't know where that secret passage goes.
Yeah, you're gonna have to figure
Assume
that
that
out.
that's a dead end for him.
Yeah, he's
Otherwise, he would have gone away from here somewhere.
yeah, you would think. So he's gonna yeah, it's not gonna be pretty. You gotta yeah, you should get a trap.
I should. In fact, last year I did.
Ah,
That was plan A from last year. So I put a trap on.
yeah,
I had him in the bedroom. I shut the door, put the trap, and I was told it was peanut butter that was the
yeah,
best ingredient.
absolutely. Yeah, it
Put the
works.
peanut butter, put out water as well.
Yeah.
And what did it do? It drank the water and then peed on my bed. It did not touch the
It did
trap.
just yeah,
This is why
of
my
course.
plan A failed completely,
Yeah.
except soiling my sheets.
Nice.
And then
Good.
he never went in. They got no peanut butter, and that's
Yeah.
where I went medieval and got
Yeah.
got the bucket on him.
Nice. Good.
But
Okay.
but the you know the I'm gonna try the trap again, but I'm not very confident
Yeah.
it's gonna work. And
The trap has worked for me in the past, and peanut butter definitely. I trapped a skunk that was in a.
sure, of course, I Googled all this.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
I'm not acting completely blind here, but
Well, you
boy,
are if you're standing on a chair with a Swiffer mop. Let me tell you that.
well, how are you gonna get a flying squirrel to come down from the top of a thing? It had little boxes up there to hide behind. Could have
Yeah.
stayed there all day. I just wanted to try to get him down into the bucket
Capture
again. And
position. Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
kind of jumped right at me, which was
Yeah.
I,
That's.
I I don't know how I managed to break the chair, but literally I must have panicked and done something that caused it to break because I must have jumped. I must
Yeah.
have jumped. It's the
Sure.
only thing I can think
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Makes sense. All right.
so where were we? We
I
were
don't
talking.
know.
Um,
Are we back to real life now? We were
us,
talking about Smile. Actually, I'm not sure if we were actually
yes, we did
recorded
talk
that.
about Smile, and I want to. I think we did talk, and we did mention them. I need to. Again, my computer's had to reboot in the meantime, and let me try to. Oh, and look at that! My watch tells me my goal has been achieved. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, squirrel
Yes,
chasing. Where's that in their database?
that's a good question.
Okay, I gotta find the the read
Oh,
on
it's in
this.
the Skype chat.
Yeah, I hear noises again downstairs.
It's not gonna. We have to keep recording. This is great. Are you on a laptop? You should bring it
I
downstairs.
should take the laptop with me.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
switch to video and record that.
okay, so here we go. I got finally got the reads here. So Smile, we said then a few nice words about them. Just to finish up, learn more about PDF Pen 7 by visiting smilesoftware.com/. Now, there isn't a URL here for Critical Path, but I'm hoping there will be by the time you'll read this or hear this. So smilesoftware.com would be the place to go to get your PDF pen. And then yes, thank you to them for supporting us on 5 by 5 and the critical path and the critical path for the squirrels. So where are we then? As far as so uh, we wanted to talk about a little bit iPad Pro and behind the scenes, and the
Yes.
logic is here. So I don't do product reviews,
Yeah.
and the reason is that I always insist that what a product does for people is very much depending on the buyer and the user,
Hmm.
and they should not read anything into what I do with them as an indication of whether it's worth buying or not. Um, so I don't like the idea of telling you pros and cons. Um, though what I if I do have a product to look at, and in this case kindly loaned to me by Apple, I would like to sort of analyze it instead of being a reviewer of it. And the analysis is somehow to uncover something about it which you may not know or be able to discern, or even not something that Apple themselves would be willing to say about it.
Hmm.
And so oh, my visitor has arrived. Unbelievable. I just saw him. Okay, he just ran into my bedroom.
This is great. You get your
It's
camera?
coming after me. This is crazy. It's like on a mission.
Of course.
How
He's
did it
pretty
get
hungry
out? I had completely blocked.
because
I bet it pushed that box out of the way.
or he
Now it's
chewed
in
it.
my bedroom. It's literally coming after me.
I think you need. Do you have a net or something, or a big
You know,
blanket? Throw it over
I
the thing.
can't give. I have my laptop and my headphones on. Oh, I see him again. Holy crap.
Get the camera. You have to take a
Yeah, well,
picture of
I've
him.
got a one phone handy.
Okay.
Oops, there it is. Just hold on.
Yeah, just go for it. This is
Hold
great.
Password it. But
E- Easily
it's
the most compelling show we've ever had.
hold on a second because I'm gonna try to carry my laptop with me, and if I drop the laptop, I'm gonna lose like all this money. This is gonna be terrible if I do this. Hold on, let me try.
Don't drop it, but bring it with you.
Okay, so folks, I'm gonna try to walk myself to my room there, take a photo of this thing as it's happening, so you can see. Once I get the photo, you'll be able to see in real time
Hmm.
what I'm looking at, right?
Yeah,
So,
you should. I
let me get ready here. I'm gonna
hope it
open my
records.
camera. I'm gonna walk with my laptop. Can you still hear me?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, come on, come on. I know where it is. I mean, I know the room it's in. Hold on. Wait. Okay, no. Why would it come up here? I mean, for God's
It's
sake.
hungry.
Yeah, you're right. Probably that's it. So I don't know. This might be a
It's a wild animal. I mean,
wild chase here because I'm
yeah.
not sure.
I'm
It's probably under my bed or
I'm looking forward to
in
it.
my bed or
Yeah. I'm safe. I'm safe on the other side of the internet right now.
yeah,
So
you're
I can just
safe.
goad you on. This is great.
Come on. Where are you? You know what? I'm just gonna stay here. I'm not gonna enter the room.
Yeah.
Um, and if he shows himself, I'll try to snap a photo, but I'm gonna just try
Good.
to talk about the iPad Pro from this vantage point.
Sounds
I'm
good.
perched on the threshold of my bedroom, um, trying to see where he might be, but he could be under my bed, which I'm not going to venture there,
Yeah.
or in my bed,
Yeah.
which would be fantastic. By the way, and this might be an important point to pause here. My bed is actually that mattress
It's a Casper.
from Casper.
That's
So,
right.
so it could be that this fine young animal is currently urinating on it. But I can't I
That's
can't
not
tell
good.
you that for sure.
That's not
Uh,
good.
yeah, it must be starving. It must be
I
also
think so.
thirsty, right? Because my house doesn't
Don't
have any food in it.
but don't give it any water.
Yeah, I didn't put any water this
All
time. But
right.
the water suggestion was from my wife.
Yeah.
Last year she said, "Well, give him something to eat or drink. You don't want him to die." And
So you should put the water in the trap as well. Put water and peanut
but
butter in
it's
the
a
trap.
very delicate trap that is sensitive to all kinds of tiny motions, and I don't think the water was too heavy to put on
Oh,
there.
okay.
Oh, I see him. Okay, we
Good.
got him. We got him. We got him.
Oh yeah.
Photo taken.
Here we go.
Okay, so I'm going to try to advance a little bit now. He's going to freak out.
Just put your camera into record mode.
Should I
Your
go to
iPhone. Put the iPhone into record mode, and we'll
Okay,
edit it
folks.
down.
So now the video is running. Now I'm going to So first of all, a little plug for Casper. There's my bed with Casper, and there's the little guy, and he's on the chair. I'm gonna try to narrate this for you guys because you're gonna do this while he's probably gonna freak me out. I'm gonna jump. I'm not gonna scream because I don't tend to, but I might do something very unpleasant and violent. So
Okay,
so
just
and I'm carrying a laptop by the way. So
don't.
here's the microphone
Good.
that you could see me here
Yeah,
recording. I've got the I've got the garage band.
it's gonna be a very interesting show. Lots of new information in this one.
By the way, you are recording this, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I'm recording on my side. Yeah,
Of me as well, because I
yeah,
forgot to hit record on my
yeah.
garage.
It should be all right.
Okay, so you better get this on.
I
So
got it.
here it is. So folks, I mean, it's a little bit fuzzy and um, a little bit gray, this picture. Uh, but there he is, and I don't want to provoke him to jump, but he is certainly within shot.
So
And
do you have a light to flip on or something? Can
well, there's a light
Okay,
on. It's
right.
just not very bright.
Got it.
And so if I approach him, he's going to jump, and he's already moving around. Oh, now he's moving behind some some other thing. Oh, there he goes. Now there's black eyes. It looks like a little mouse, you know.
Yeah.
It's not. It's got a, but the tail is flat and
Hmm.
wide. It's not a particularly nasty looking tail. I think that they use the tail for
For steering, right?
steering. Yeah,
Yeah.
for no, you know a little bit of aviation. Oh, now he's on my jeans. Uh, he's just gotten on top of some
Right.
clothes.
Can you throw like a blanket over him?
That would not help. He's going to just run right out of
Okay.
under it. And anyway, I've got both hands full. One, I'm
Oh,
holding
right.
my laptop. The other,
Yeah,
I'm
we
holding
need you to do that.
uh,
Yeah, we have to stay in the story here.
the other one. I'm holding the phone with. So I'm taping this. Now we're at 2 minutes, and you can't really see the color. It's grayish, and my light isn't very strong. You know what? I wonder if I can turn on the. Is there a way to turn on the light
On the
uh,
camera?
in when you're using
Yeah, you flip
the
up
flash?
flick the from the bottom of the screen. You should have a
Yeah,
light
but this is
flash thing.
in video mode.
Yeah, isn't there a way to do that? Let me see. I'm sure there's a way to do this. So I'm in video mode.
He's still on
Yeah,
my jeans. I wish he
I
wouldn't be
can
on
do
my
it.
jeans.
No, I can't. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so he's very thoughtful now. We're at 3 minutes. So thinking about where to go next. I'm
Hmm.
gonna try to lower down a little bit, maybe more eye level here.
Do you have a selfie stick? You could just get the thing right up
No,
to
I
him.
don't have a selfie stick.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you don't.
Okay, well, okay, now you can see a little bit. Oh, now he's really on top of my jeans, like on top of the pile. Poor thing, he must be hungry. I bet that's what it is. He's sniffing the air, and now he's going a little bit further back. It's got a sort of a whitish belly. It's got you can see on its in between its legs, you see the membrane, and it has sort of a uh, an edge that's black,
Huh.
and so now he's going down back to the chair. He's uh, he's making some. He's amazingly brave, though. If you think about it, he was downstairs. He somehow managed to get up a little
Yeah.
hole that he was hiding in. Now,
And he climbed the stairs? I mean, he obviously,
yeah, he climbed the stairs,
yeah.
and now he just wiggled down onto my carpet.
Yeah. And you're only
Um,
what, like 400 times his size? So,
Yeah, so he's just fearless. Oh, now he just ran under my bed. Okay, now look, things are unfortunately. Oh, there he
spiraling out
goes.
of
Now he's
control.
gone over under another chair.
Yeah.
Now you can see,
I think you need to open the front door. I mean, you need to like flush him out
or a window.
or a window. Let him, yeah.
Ah, he's coming toward me. Oh no, where is he? Okay, there he is now. So so yeah, window. That is not a bad idea. You know what? Let me do that.
Yeah, sure. Put the stuff down. Yeah,
I'm gonna shut
could
my
do that.
door
Good.
and
Jam something under
cover.
there.
So I just shut the door and I put a towel
Good.
so
Yeah.
that the only gap. So now he's in here, and I'm gonna try to
You're taking your
open the
life in your
window.
hands. You realize this?
I am. It's he and I, um, mano a mano. Okay, now he's in another corner. He's right over there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the window, and the trouble is that these are new windows,
Yeah.
and
Open it. Open it. You got to open it all the way up. As big
yeah,
as
and they have screens, so I have to
oh
work
yeah.
out it
Get the
with one
screen out of
hand
there.
here. Okay, so open this up.
Sounds good.
Ooh, ooh, there he goes. So now he's off in that corner. So I'm gonna get in this other side, hopefully. But he's like not afraid of me because
Now you need your Swiffer, or a broom,
no, no, I'm
like a
done with
broom
that.
to get him out.
So where is he now? He's just on my heating grill, and yeah. So now the thing is that if the windows are open, maybe I should open both windows.
Yeah.
Try to get him to the other side. Come on, Rocky, go, go. There he goes. Now he ran off under my bed, which hopefully he'll come out the other side. Notice the open window and go outside. But he's sticking to the. He's sticking. Did he just go? There. Okay, go, go, go up. Okay, there he goes. He's trying to climb. He's trying to climb. Oh my God. He's trying to get out. Go, little guy. Go up. Oh, he almost got up my nightstand. Now he's got up on the chair. Oh, geez, poor little guy. Now I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to leave. I think
So he
he's,
sees the open window.
well, he did, but the problem is that the window's on the other side. So I'm going to try to
Give
go,
give him
go,
a
go,
ramp
go,
or something.
go away, go, go, go. Here he is. Come on, go, go. No, no, no. Oh, that's my son's toy car. Um, why is he coming here now? Not here. No, go to the other side. He couldn't climb.
You're trying to reason with a 3-inch animal.
Well, he's a bit more than that. He's almost 5 inches, actually. I'm gonna open this window now.
Yeah. Yeah. Give him all the exits possible.
New construction windows. Oh, come on. Come on. I don't know. This window's pretty stuck because it's the screen.
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh,
You have to put something down. Just put
oh,
something
now,
down.
now
Yeah.
look at him. Look where he is. He's right on my bed. Oh, now he got down. Come on, there you go. A window open. You know what? I'm gonna leave.
Leave him in there and let him find the window
Let
on
him
his own.
find his way out. He's
That's
on
a
my
good
bed.
idea.
Look at it. Look at it. Green sheets. Come on, go out the window. There, there, there. No, 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 not this way. Go to the window. You to the window.
Yeah.
He just ran over my iPhone. Oh, now he got out. Now he got out.
Is that the
Go,
window?
go, 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 go. He got out. Go, no. Jumped. Yes. And he flew. He flew.
Did you get
He
it?
flew. Oh, 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 oh. That was the best thing. I actually saw him fly.
So he jumped out the window, and just
Yes,
flew
he did.
away.
Yes, he did.
That's awesome.
Yes, he did. Oh, yes, folks. This is.
That's great.
Oh, just the video went off just at that moment. I was switching on a light
Ah,
and
didn't quite get it.
Didn't get the flight. Did get the flight out, but I got the. Oh, you don't know what a relief this is. Okay, I think this is a wrap. I can't talk about the iPad Pro anymore.
I guess not. So you have to plug the hole in the kitchen. You have to.
Yeah, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but somehow
Yeah.
I saw the jump and I saw him spread his wings out. And it's dark out there, so I'm sure he was a little bit worried where he was going.
I'm sure it didn't matter. He was out of the room, in his mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm gonna see if this video has captured it
That's
or what it
compelling.
captured. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 9-minute video here.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So in a few photographs actually, which I was able to snap as I was. Oh, I have one of him on top of my iPhone, which is a good picture actually. Um, um, okay, folks.
Doesn't get
Very
much more
dramatic.
real than that.
You get to see a tour of my bedroom. You get to see this Casper on it, and the drama was live broadcast. Um,
It's pretty good.
and hey, we should also thank one more sponsor, and
Absolutely.
that's Linda.
Yeah.
And uh, now Linda is uh, is the online learning platform with over 3,000 on-demand video courses to help you strengthen your business, technology, and creative skills. For a 10-day free trial, visit lynda.com/critical path. That's lynda.com/critical path. I wonder if they have an online learning video on how to
How to trap a flying.
handle
Yeah.
flying squirrels. So, but lynda.com is for problem solvers, even those problems involving rodents, flying kind. For the curious, for people who want to make things happen, maybe you want to master Excel, learn negotiation tactics, build a website, or boost your Photoshop skills, go to lynda.com and feed your curious mind. Uh, Not so much your curious squirrel. Some of the courses I recommend are Excel 2013 Power Shortcuts. Excel is the thing for analysts. How about Office, Weekly Office Workshop, or Going Paperless, Start to Finish, How to Build Workflows, iPhone and iPad Security Fundamentals, Income Tax Fundamentals, or Growth Hacking Fundamentals. Uh, I love lynda.com. Actually, we talk about it a lot in our the research at the Christensen Institute about the possibilities that they have for disrupting education. And so Linda comes. I've seen a few of the videos. It's really quite compelling. So with the membership, you get or you can watch and learn from top experts who are passionate about teaching, stream thousands of video courses on demand, and learn on your own schedule. Learn at your own pace. Courses are structured so you can watch them from start to finish or consume them in bite-sized pieces. Browse each course transcript to follow along or search for an answer and skip to that point in the video. Take notes as you go and refer to them later. Download tutorials and watch them on the go, including access to on your iOS or Android device. Create and save playlists of courses you want to watch to customize your learning path or share with friends, colleagues, and team members. Your lynda.com membership will give you unlimited access to training on hundreds of topics, all for one flat fee. Whether you're looking to become an industry expert, you're passionate about a hobby, or you just want to learn something new, I want you to visit lynda.com/critical path and sign up for your free 10-day trial. So, folks, doesn't get any better than this as far as excitement. We have a video that goes along with this. I just recorded it. We shall have a few photos of Rocky, our star, our guest for the show, and a few photos and videos are going to be posted, as well as the chair that I broke while panicking and wielding a Swiffer. So, folks, I think that's all we can handle on this very critical path. Thank you
The
for
important thing
listening.
is you're still alive.
I am, and so's the squirrel.
That's good. Absolutely. Well, you can read more of Horace's amazing writing at asimco.com, and he is at
I'm
asimco
gonna
on
need
Twitter.
physical therapy, I think. Oh
That's
my,
not good. That's not good. Why don't you lie down on your
I'm
Casper
just
mattress?
not young as I used to
Yeah,
be.
it happens
Falling
to
off
all of us.
chairs isn't as fun as it used to be.
Do you remember when that didn't hurt? When I'm
Yeah, you just kind of
you
laugh
just
and do it and say, "Can we do
whatever.
it again?"
Yeah,
And now,
absolutely.
no, I don't feel like doing it again.
I can't blame you. Uh, let's see what else. I'm Anders94 on Twitter, and we will hopefully catch up with Horace in Traction next time.